one issue keeping you stuck in your business is managing your emotions. The pressure. When the pressure builds too high, how do you respond? Typically, entrepreneurs respond in a couple of predictable ways. Either they are like, we're not getting enough done, we're panicking, and we're going to double down, and we're going to just grind. We're not going to sleep. We're not going to take days off. We're going to have everyone work overtime, or maybe I'm going to work overtime. Or you freeze, you stop looking at the things that matter, and you just kind of like look for possible solutions. You're starting to like go into research mode, and you're looking like, oh, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could add that in, and you have shiny object syndrome. So, and I'm totally guilty of this as well. So when that happens, we have to stop the spin, and we have to realize like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. So trying to take on everything that I want to change all at once just is not a thing that I should be doing, right? What are some key metrics that I can focus on that can keep me centered and focused so that I can just see like, okay, so these are also called KPIs or key performance indicators, and what we track and measure improves. So what you could do is put a big Post-it on your wall with something that you're tracking. For example, if you're tracking, we've got to have more consistent content creation, right? And maybe it's fine with written because you can crank out a bunch of content with the help of AI. But when it's video, if you're not using AI to like clone yourself, then you've got to come up with either faceless marketing or on-screen marketing, which means that you've got to like get your hair and your makeup done, and you've got to set aside special time to do that, where it's going to be quiet and you're going to like not have distractions and your space is clear so that you can film. And all those things, like if they're not already set up, can just like drain you before you even get started. So how can we set things up for success? I like a mix of batching content and in real time content. So when you batch content ahead of time and you give yourself a buffer, it really like it provides ease for you, because like life is going to happen. It's not like if it happens, it's like when life happens, right? You're going to get sick. Something unexpected is going to happen. If you have kids, they're always going to be like a variable, right? There's always going to be something that you're going to have to take care of or handle. Unexpected events will happen in your life with your family or friends, or maybe finances. So if you can build out maybe like 1 to 6 months of content that is like evergreen content, it's going to make you feel so much ease at knowing that like, okay, I am going to consistently be feeding the beast. I am going to have content prepared and scheduled. It's going to add value to my audience. It's going to nurture them, give them tips, provide engagement. Hopefully it is also growing your audience and producing sales. And if you set that up in a system, which we can talk about another time, that will really like produce consistent leads and sales in your business and keep things going, so that even when you have to step away or you just need a break or you're sleeping, like things are taken care of for you content wise. So what you can do is think about like, do I produce one new video a week on YouTube or a podcast or something like that, right? So I've got 4 videos a month to start out. Okay, cool. So if I can produce 2 videos every week, then by the end of that month, I will have a month of banked content. Does that make sense? So the 1 video a week covers that first month, and then that second video each week covers that second month. So if I'm in September, I've taken care of September and October. When I get to October, I'm now already covered in October. So then I can, if I do 2 videos a week from there, then by the end of October, I will have content built out November and December. And that keeps compounding, and I keep staying ahead of the curve. Let me give you a real life example. There's a lady that I know who was pregnant, and she was like, I am going to spend my pregnancy prepping for the future so that I can take 8 months off to really take care of my child, let us all get situated and into a new routine because this is the second baby. And so I still need to take care of my first child, who is a toddler, and now I have a newborn, and I have to give myself the time and the grace to figure out how that's going to work. And also, I want my business to still grow and provide value for people. This particular lady, she had a online membership. She would provide different types of content. There would be one live lesson, or it could be pre-recorded, and it was an hour, and that was once a month. And then once a week, there was also a live video on Sunday where they would meet for 45 minutes to an hour, and they would write out what they were going to do for the week. So they had their plan set Sunday evening, and they knew exactly what they were going to do every day, and or who needed to do it. So they got really clear on that. So there were different touch points, and she also had a couple other experts in the community that would come in at different times, once a month or once a week or whatever the case may be. And then she also had her online blog and her social media. And then she wanted to make sure she was also providing daily engagement posts, and then weekly Q&A, commonly answered, frequently asked questions kinds of things. So she just made a plan of okay, I'm going to build out all this content so that by the time I'm about to go into labor, I will have 8 months of content. And then she ended up coming back in 6 months, but it was an easy transition because she still had a runway of content. So if you want to do something like that, think about if it's easier for you to sit and have a single focus, right? Where you're I'm creating all the social media posts with text and images, right? So I'm just not going to worry about the images right now. I'm just going to crank out all the content. So Facebook and Instagram are handled, right? And you can do that really fast, probably in an hour with, ChatGPT or Claude AI or whatever your AI assistant preferences are. You're leading it with the type of content that you want to have, the things that you want to say. You want it to be evergreen, meaning that foundational business practices, they're classic, they're ongoing, they're not trendy. These are principles that you will use that won't go away, right? And then you've got all that content, and then you can also maybe you're going to spend one day where you're okay, I'm going to do my hair, my makeup, and I'm going to dedicate 4, 6, 8 hours, whatever you've got the stamina for, and you're just going to crank out a bunch of videos. And you can do long form videos that can be repurposed by someone else on your team or through software, can do it now, where you can get small little clips and sound bites, and you can have them be a teaser or a little point of value on social media, and then you can give them a link to see the whole video, right? So you're providing value all the time in different ways. So it's really just a matter of how do you want things to go. I don't recommend trying to film a video and then go edit it because it's totally different energy. It's better to just keep it moving and keep doing one thing at a time. And then once you've got this bank of content ahead of you and it's evergreen, then you can focus on hey, when there's stuff happening in real time or in the news or pop culture or whatever, you can go in and do something live